Imagine being criticized or ignored, and your brain is perceiving it as if you are in danger. This is what many individuals with ADHD experience through something called rejective sensitive dysphoria. RSD is not a formal medical diagnosis, but it is widely recognized as a pattern of intense emotional pain to perceived rejection, criticism, failure, or disapproval. To understand why this happens, we need to change how we think about ADHD itself. It's time to ask a very important question. What is ADHD? Well, ADHD is often seen as just a disorder of attention, when primarily it is a disorder of regulation. But what does that mean? Well, the brain is struggling to manage motivation, attention, energy, and emotions, not just focus. This especially takes place in the prefrontal cortex, which is the brain region that is responsible for our emotion regulation, our impulse control, and our executive function. To better understand how the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, and the anterior cingulate cortex all work together, let's think about an analogy. Think of the brain as a car, the amygdala and the anterior cingulate cortex as our engine, and the prefrontal cortex is going to be that braking system that helps us slow down a reaction, assess the situation, and respond appropriately. Think of the car and the engine as that emotion generation, while the brake is going to be that emotion regulation. Neuroimaging studies show that social rejection activates the same brain regions involved in physical pain, including the anterior cingulate cortex. This explains why rejection can feel physically painful. It's important to understand that dopamine plays a key role here as well. Dopamine is involved in our motivation, our emotional resilience, and our reward prediction. Let's give a visual. This line is going to represent our expected response. The small dots that are unevenly spaced are our dopamine signals reaching its target in response to feedback. In ADHD, these signals are missing their target. They are inconsistent, which makes emotional responses much harder to regulate and recover from. Another way to think about this is through music. When we hear an inharmonious chord, the brain expects a resolution. Dopamine helps signal whether that resolution arrives, and when it does, the attention can be decreased. In ADHD, as we know, the signaling can be very inconsistent, which means emotional tension can last longer. Emotion is like an inharmonious chord. Regulation doesn't erase it, it resolves it. Although these all may be different metaphors, they all follow a very similar process. Rejection-sensitive dysphoria is not about being too sensitive, but it is a result of a neurobiological difference in emotional regulation processes. When we understand how the brain processes emotional responses, it allows judgment to be replaced with explanation. Thank you.